Welcome back, College Baseball Central and the Weekend Rotation fans. I'm joined by Alex, Noah, and Jake. They are all on site in Omaha at the Chinook Seeds booth. So if you are in Omaha right now and you are seeing this live, go run by. You can jump on the show probably. We'll let you on. We're going to sit here and talk some baseball here. How we doing, fellas? Alex, how we doing? I know this is your first trip. How we doing? How we feeling this morning?
Man, it's been great. It's been a great experience. The games yesterday were a ton of fun. I've been hanging out at Rocco's. And, they've got the Jello shot thing going on over there. The LSU fans have been great. It's been a ton of fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a fun thing. The whole area and where you guys are now, that shopping center, that's a blast too. There's a ton of stuff to do in there. I know Wilson was doing some custom gloves in there. That looks pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys have stopped by that booth yet, but that looks really dope what they're doing there with gloves. Jake, have you bought a new custom glove yet?
I haven't yet, but we talk all the time about peaking too early, so there is kind of a worry with the games yesterday because I just don't know how we top it today. But I'm excited to kind of get back out to the field. Every
Custom
day
college-
just feels like it's the first day of school.
Custom College Baseball Central glove. That's how we do it. Noah, you get to do this all every year. You get to see this. You've been living there. But this is just a new experience, right? Getting to do all the fun stuff here behind the scenes and getting in the press box. It's always exciting, right?
Well, there's this fantasy that I get to sit in the press box every year and have food handed to me like I'm a king laying down with my grapes tossed in my mouth. But it's not like that every year. So this is still a crazy experience, and it gets better every year. Here we are in year 2 in the press box. Excited to see what we look like when we're full strength here with you here, Mark. Of course, we are just like a ship at sea without you. We need our sailor.
No, you guys are hanging it down. We're doing great. Okay, you guys have made some great content so far. But what I want to talk about is the games that happened yesterday. So let's jump into the Oral Roberts game there versus TCU. TCU was firing on all cylinders. They looked like they had that thing in the bag. And then Oral Roberts comes out in the top of the ninth and ties it and then takes the lead with the Blaze Jordan home run. Tell us a little bit about that, fellas. You guys were there live. How did that crowd react when he hit that bomb there to left? I mean, that was a big boy bomb from the 9-hitter.
Well, the crowd was actually fairly subdued. Noah called it a shirt tucked in game. But it was packed. There was a ton of people, but I mean, it was wild to see when the Oral Robert fans, there may not have been a whole lot of them, but they were there and they got loud when that home run happened. And I mean, Blaze Brothers, that's got to be the best baseball name there is.
Blaze Brothers. Blaze Brothers is a great baseball name. That whole team, Mac McCroskey, Jake McMurray, they got baseball names, man. I love the Oral Roberts names there. Speak a little bit. Can you guys talk about that play that Jake McMurray made also at first base on the stretch from the right field throwout? That was pretty outrageous. He's like the best first baseman defensively in the country right now. He made 0 errors all season at first.
Yeah, and he also stole one at first, too, on a double down the line that he just went and kind of picked out. I mean, for as much as we can talk about the home run, I mean, the defense was just on display all day. We had 2 pitchers that went out and absolutely shoved. And I think that was what was kind of overshadowed by the home run there. Cole Kleckler as a freshman, being a freshman opening up Omaha. The moment wasn't too big for him at all through 6 innings. It really did his job to keep TCU in it.
Yeah, we keep talking about velocity, and the 2 guys that threw yesterday to start that game, they were both like 91, so not a ton of velocity, but they were hitting their spots. 2 great pitchers. I said in the preview show, pitching and defense plays in Omaha, and it certainly came to life in that first one there with TCU and Oral Roberts. That was excellent pitching and defense. TCU a little bit disappointed there, Noah?
TCU disappointed.
Yeah, I think you're always a little bit disappointed when you lose a marathon game like that, where it really came down to just who's better in those fine detail moments. But that's what the postseason is all about. That's why you got to love it. And I think Kirk Saarloos knew that going in, and he knew it in the press conference when he was talking about, well, if every game is like that, then we're in for a real treat. So I think that he knows, just as a baseball guy, that's what everything boils down to in the College World Series, and that's why you love to play at this level.
Yeah, it seemed like 2 good coaches going back and forth there, and they both kind of knew what's at stake. Winning that first game in Omaha gives you the chance there a lot easier than having to come through the losers bracket first. There have been teams that have done it, Oregon State, but you can do it, lose the first game and get all the way through. It's just more difficult. So TCU is going to have their word cut out for them there. A little bit of pitching here is going to have to come through a long way there for this team. Let's talk about the other one here, Virginia and Florida. This one also in 6-5 with the Florida walk-off. I just actually got word a little bit ago that Langford's home run finally landed. How far was that ball hit when you guys were watching that live?
So that was 456-foot home run, 115 miles an hour off the bat. I'd actually left that game to go hang out with some other LSU people. It was 4-1 when I left, and Noah was like, "Yeah, 4-1 in Omaha. Like that's
Hold on.
whoa."
After he left, I said to Jake that was intentional. I want to go 16 innings.
We didn't get to go 16.
That Alex is Mark. I don't know if you hear that alarm bell. They just started playing it. Whoop whoop. Casual alert.
We left a 4-1 game that Florida brought in their closer, and Alex is like, you know what? I don't think Florida's playing to win. I can go to the Rockies.
It's not what I said at all.
Alex exactly said, this ball game is over, man.
Oh, man. You're going to have to apologize to our dude Steven Shockton. You caused his Virginia Cavaliers to get the loss there by bailing out on him early here. This Florida team is for real. They had to come back there. So they had the 2 home runs in the ninth and the sac fly to walk it off. Heart-wrenching loss for Virginia, who really played 8 innings of perfect ball, right? Like, this team looked the part. They weren't afraid of this Florida team. I know Jake was writing them off in the first 3 innings there. But this Virginia team really did look the part of being a World Series contender. Can they come all the way back to the loser bracket? What do we see from them? We'll talk more about their next matchup here with TCU. But this is a tough way to open up the World Series to get it walked off in the ninth.
Yeah, Virginia's got a tough task ahead of them, to go up against TCU. That's going to be a real battle. Not really sure who's going to have the edge in that one, but it should be another classic.
Yeah, when we get a pair of 6-5 ball games to open up the World Series, we really are treated to what college baseball is about. We get a little bit of the long ball there. We get a lot of pitching and a lot of defense, which is outstanding for the college game. What are we expecting today? So let's go into the first one here. We got Stanford and Wake Forest. These are 2 teams that can hit the long ball, 2 teams that have a little bit of pitching. I don't believe Quinn Matthews is thrown yet, right? That they have not announced it, but I don't believe he's going to throw today. Is that correct there, Alex?
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Mark? I got these 2 clowns over here being clowns.
I asked Quinn Matthews. They have not announced if he's going to throw today, but I don't believe he's going to throw today against Wake Forest.
Well, I'm assuming we're talking about the first game, so Wake Forest and Stanford. Wake's going to try and come out here. I don't think Stanford's going to be throwing Quinn Matthews. So you got Wake's bats that are come out here. They're ready to mash some home runs. They saw the home runs hit yesterday. They're ready to join the party.
Yeah.
Wake's pretty loose too, Mark. And I think that being the number 1 team in the country, there's a lot of pressure there. But I think the pressure is kind of falling on Stanford after being here 2 years, going 2-0 last year and then losing. So I think the pressure is squarely on Stanford, despite Wake being the number 1 seed overall.
It feels like Coach Esker kind of knows that. He kind of feels that pressure that he's got to perform sometime in the World Series. This feels like a tough task, though, against a very good Wake Forest team. No Quinn Matthews throwing. Can Stanford do it today, Noah? Do you think they can battle with this Wake Forest team?
Well, we've been talking about the 1-seed curse, so we're kind of waiting for it to hit Wake Forest. I was talking to Chris yesterday in a controlled environment, and I was saying, the weakness with Wake Forest is the fact that they don't know their weakness. So as soon as Stanford finds that, they can exploit it. And I think Stanford has the offense to beat anybody in the country. The question is, who are they going to throw? I'm not willing to rule out the fact that Quinn Matthews might hit the mound today. We've seen him be a bulldog and say, give me the ball. It's the number 1 team in America. If a competitor isn't begging for the ball against the number 1 overall team, then I don't want you on my team. It's, of course, if David Esker allows that to happen, which is a completely other story. But I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of pressure in those walls to say, at least give me 75 pitches.
Yeah, it would not surprise me to see him go out there and maybe throw 30 if they're leading, because that would be just a standard bullpen for him anyway 2 days before he throws anyhow. But I'm very excited for this one here. We're also getting Louder, who's one of the best pitchers in the country on the other side there for Wake. I know everybody's talking Quinn Matthews, but let's talk about this Wake Forest pitching staff, Alex.
Yeah, Rhett Lauder's been a beast this year. On media day, some of the kids were calling him long hair. So he's officially now long hair. So long hair is ready to go out there and shove. Stanford does have a good lineup, but with long hair on the mound, Wake's going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I think that they got to be feeling pretty comfortable here. I know it's a big ballpark, but it didn't play necessarily huge yesterday. At least from a fan perspective, it didn't seem like it was playing enormous yesterday. It seemed like it was playing like a normal college baseball stadium. I'd love to see that one here with these two teams swinging it moving forward. Tennessee, LSU. This is the game of the day. This is what everybody's here for. This is what all the marbles are for, really, on this side, right? Because the winner of this one puts themselves in a good spot. LSU has been rolling. Tennessee's pitching staff is on fire. This is like power versus power, Alex. What are you liking here in this game with Tennessee LSU?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a power matchup. I mean, you got likely Paul Skeens, nothing official.
Really? You don't think it's Paul Skeens?
That's not what I said. I said likely Paul Skeens. It's not official.
It was just announced Riley Cooper is starting.
Yeah.
Noah's favorite pitcher.
That is a lie.
I think it's more likely that I have college eligibility left and Paul Skeens is not throwing game 1 today. And I took 6 years, so.
Paul Skeens on the mound for LSU. Probably Andrew Lindsay. I think they announced that last night for Tennessee. That'll be a little bit different matchup than what we saw in Baton Rouge, a couple months ago. The Tennessee team's a little bit different. Their lineup's playing with a lot of confidence right now. But this LSU team's been on a heater. They've been 5-0 so far in the postseason. And, Paul Skeens on the mound, you definitely feel good for LSU.
Paul Skeens, the Dick Hauser Trophy winner for the best player in college baseball from the Dick Hauser perspective here from the NCBWA. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here for this one. I think that the headlines write themselves, right? This Baton Rouge team, this LSU team didn't get the number 1 seed. They came in not with that curse on their shoulders. They came in a little loose here. They're showing up with pillows like they're staying for a couple weeks. I really like what I'm seeing from this LSU team. Noah, how's the fan base there? Have we seen what's going on there with the fans yet? Have they shown up yet?
Yeah, the LSU fans have been out. They've had a blood alcohol content of at least twice the legal limit all weekend, and it's only Saturday morning. It's a pretty crazy scene here with the LSU fans. It's only going to increase because you know how the Southerners are, Mark. I know you and me, we like to fly. Those guys love long road trips, and they're making them this weekend. It's going to be a pretty good crowd. I haven't seen a lot of Tennessee fans, which I'm a little bit worried about. You know where I stand between Tennessee and LSU. I love one, don't really like the other. But go ahead and give me a lot of Tennessee fans showing up tonight, please. I want I don't want a dangerous environment, but I want raucous.
I do too. I think we want the explosion. Jake, how are you feeling about this one here? I know that this is a big matchup here between two very good SEC teams. This is the one that everybody's kind of kept their eye on and seen. That's why it is the Saturday evening game. Tell us a little bit about your feelings during this Tennessee LSU game.
I'm excited to see kind of how this LSU lineup handles this kind of new Stanford pitching staff. I mean, the ball has been playing a little bit small here. Tennessee. The ball has been playing a little small here, and I think LSU kind of relies on the long ball a little bit too heavy. I mean, as Alex can kind of attest, they struggled at times to hit with runners in scoring position, and when you need doubles and stringing hits together, I don't think that that's a recipe for success. But again, when you have Paul Skeens, who's arguably one of the best pitchers in college baseball history, it's pretty much a definite win at this point. It was flagged for gambling because it was such a sure thing.
I like my chances with LSU and that 7 through 9 lineup that they have going with the mix there. And then when you get Dylan Cruz and Tommy White going 1-2, both those guys can hit it out of this ballpark. I believe that this whole team can. I like LSU here. I'm going to let you guys – we're going to go through the picks now. So tell me Stanford or Wake and why, Alex.
I'm going with Wake Forest. I think those guys are ready to launch a ton of home runs. Brock Wilken, Nick Kurtz, Rhett Lauder on the mound. It's hard to pick against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Yeah, that's a tough team and a tough lineup right now and great pitching staff. Like Noah said, we haven't seen any of their weaknesses. Jake, who's your pick here in the Stanford-Wake Forest game?
I'm going to go with Stanford here. I know that Wake has all the tournament differential, but we haven't seen how they react in a close game. Stanford's been a little bit more battle-tested. They've won 4 straight elimination games, and I think that they really want to stay on the right side of the bracket. I mean, they know their way around Omaha. They seemed very, very businesslike, like they were here to handle stuff. And everybody talks about Quinn Matthews, but if you forget, Stanford has another guy that absolutely shoves, and I think it's going to be his time to shine and kind of steal some of those headlines.
Okay, all right. Noah, Wake or Stanford?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 14-0 starter and Rhett Lauder. Give me Wake to take this one. I think it's going to be a little bit too much offensively, too, for Stanford to handle. I could see it being a ton of runs. I could see it being a really, really low-scoring game because of that dominance of the Wake Forest staff. We're going to be talking about these trends all series long with this Wake Forest team because they're so deep. Whereas Stanford, without Quinn Matthews, Jake can pretend that there's not a drop-off between 1 and 2 at Stanford, but there is a sizable one compared to the one that Wake Forest has.
Yeah, I don't think this is when the curse of the one comes in. I don't think that they lose this one. I think that they take care of business against Stanford. It's a very good Stanford ball club, but I think Wake has been the most consistent team in college baseball. They've shown that they deserve to be the number 1 seed. They really took care of business after dropping that first one to Duke in the Supers. I think Wake shows up here with a business-like approach and really takes care of business here against Stanford in the first one. LSU, Tennessee, I'm going to make Alex go last. So I'm going to let Noah start here. LSU, Tennessee.
Yeah, so in the words of Charles Barkley, it's Paul Skeens, Tennessee offense, must-see TV.
2 words.
Yeah, 2 words. 2 words. Paul Skeens, Tennessee offense, must-see TV.
Yes,
for that
it is.
reason, I'm going to go with Tennessee winning this one.
Oh!
I think LSU will win, but I'm not going to pick it because I want Alex to have a good trip here. So go ahead and give me Tennessee by 8.
Tennessee by 8. If Tennessee wins by 8, I will be absolutely shocked. I'll be shocked if they put up 4 runs against Paul Skeens today. If you have not seen Skeens throw this year, he's worth every penny of admission. That guy is electric, elite, whatever name you want to call him. He would go out there and beat 26 MLB teams today, I believe. Jake, LSU or Tennessee?
I think it's going to be 3-1 Paul Skeens. 3-1 Paul Skeens. I think Dylan Cruz hits a home run. I think Gavin Dugas gets hit by a pitch and scores a run. That's my bold take today. But I think it's going to be a very boring game, methodical take. But I really like Paul Skeens. It's hard to bet against Paul Skeens.
That's your calculated religious take there from the cult that is Texas A&M. Alex, I think I know where you're going to go here, but let's hear it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's got to be the Tigers, right? We're going Tigers all day. Paul Skeens Shove Day. Happy Paul Skeens Shove Day to all those that celebrate. And but we did talk to Griffin Merritt yesterday, and he said that they were going to be ready for Paul Skeens. He was anxious to get another crack at him, but it's not going to matter. Paul Skeens will be throwing 103 today. He's going to have 17 strikeouts. He's going to break Ben McDonald's strikeout record. LSU is going to score 30 runs, and it's going to be great.
I saw a stat the other day that kind of blew me away that the strikeouts per pitch for a player, and Paul Skeens had the number 1 strikeouts with the 4-seam fastball. He was also number 5 on the list with the slider, so he's number 1 and number 5 with the strikeouts per pitch.
Mark,
the guy is just every. What?
You just heard Alex describe his wet dream, but Mother Nature has a different wet dream in store tonight for us. Looks like we have some weather coming, so Jay Johnson is going to be calling the NCAA and saying we're not taking the field until we have that window. It's going to be another Jay Johnson corruption scam. We're playing at 2 a.m. We'll end at 5 a.m. We'll be back here at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
So I saw that the weather. I was going to ask that question next. I saw that the weather's coming in. How's the weather doing right now? Does it feel like we're going to get that 1 o'clock game in for you guys?
It's a little cloudy right now, but the weather's not supposed to come. It's not supposed to start raining until afternoon. We'll see. It's about 70% chance of rain right now. Last I looked, so
I think they just need to move the College World Series to like Globe Life or something like that. Something where we can get guaranteed to get the games in, because I think that's what's really important here is that we get the games played.
I just wanted to thank the Make-A-Wish Foundation for letting us have Jake today.
It's a good thing we get our federal write-off for having Jake on the show, so thank you, federal government. No, we're not moving Omaha. You can't move Omaha, Jake. Come on, let's be real here. We know that there's weather this time of year. It happens. But we dealt with rain delays last year, and everything was fine. There was a lot of good baseball still last year. So let's just get over that whole thing. We will be keeping an eye on the weather, though, so make sure you guys are sending out your reports, letting people know what's going on with those games. I know ESPN, since it's finally down to the final 8, is pretty good about sending out the reports. But keep an eye on that one there for us, guys. Let's move to the other 2 games that are tomorrow, right? So the winner's bracket and the loser's bracket side on the Pool A. So let's go to the loser's bracket game first. That TCU matchup with Virginia. That's a toughie. That Alex, I'm going to let you start here. TCU or Virginia tomorrow? Who's the first team eliminated from the College World Series? Who moves on?
Oh, I thought I heard Alex. What was the question?
TCU or Virginia? Who loses? Who wins? What's happening there? Who's the first team going home this year in Omaha?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it's going to be TCU. I just think Virginia is a little bit too good. The Kyle Teal and Jake Geloff, they aren't going to let that team roll over, go 0-2. And I think Virginia kind of has that sour taste in their mouth, but to the point where they're able to rebound, whereas TCU is they just lost to a 4 seed. That's pretty embarrassing. And I think that they're a little newer to this scene as a team, whereas Virginia has that kind of roots here in Omaha.
Fair enough. Jake, TCU or Virginia?
I'm going to go with TCU here. We're probably going to get Sam Starborough for TCU. And I think we'll probably see Luke Savage, even though he gave up the big runs. I think he really wants to bounce back and kind of go out there and shove. And I really like them. I mean, Virginia just lost in a heartbreaking fashion. I mean, their closer got four outs, gave up 4 runs, and had to bring in another guy with Jacob Berry. I really like TCU here because, speed doesn't slump. And when you're athletic like that, the moment's really never too big. So I really like TCU to kind of bounce back and stay here another day.
All right. Alex?
Yeah, I actually agree with Jake on this one. I think TCU is going to get it done. I like their bats. I like their defense. One of the things we didn't mention when we were breaking down the game yesterday for TCU was the play their shortstop Silva had where he was in midair throwing the guy out at first. Like, that was insane. And, I think their defense and their team speed is ultimately what's going to be the difference in that game.
Yeah, I think it comes down to Sam Starborough to see if he can actually be a dude on the mound tomorrow. That'll be the big thing there for them. I am taking Virginia because I really want to see Jake Geloff and Kyle Teal another day. I can't imagine them going 0-2 and then being out of this college game. It could happen. I hope it does not happen, but that's where I'm going. I'm not going to miss TCU because they're going to be back here shortly. This team is young. They're going to be very good. They're probably a year or two ahead of schedule even from where we thought they would be here in Omaha. Moving on to the winner's bracket game, we've got Oral Roberts taking on Florida. Florida's probably going to throw Hurston Waldrop, would be my guess in that one there. So, Alex, when you look at this one here, who you liking? I mean, Florida's got to be the go-away heavy favorite here, right?
Yeah, I mean, Florida's definitely the clear favorite, but I mean, this is your classic David versus Goliath, kind of matchup here. I mean, when you look at just the size of Florida's players compared to the size of Oral Roberts players, it's just night and day difference. But I actually like Oral Roberts because they're a scrappy team. They're not going to give up. I know Hurston Waldrop is a dude. Wyatt Langford's a dude. BT Riopel. Florida's got all the stars, but Oral Roberts doesn't care. Oral Roberts is going to come out here. They're going to play their game. They're going to play great defense. They're going to hit the ball all over the yard, and they're going to have a good time. So I like Oral Roberts.
I love it. Jake, Florida or Oral Roberts?
Noah.
Yeah, I've got Florida big.
Florida big. Wow. Starting to sound like those ESPN bigwigs sitting there in the office.
2 words there. Florida big.
Florida is big. Jake?
Must see TV.
I mean, it's got to be the guy who is the first-round draft pick coming as your number 2, Hurston Waldrop. He's going to be jacked up on about 1,000 milliliters of coffee. He's going to be ready to go. And I think that lineup is going to push Florida over the edge. I'm liking a Schloss-type game, 8-3, 8-4, Florida winning it.
I love this Oral Roberts team. I think that pitching and defense plays very well here. I am concerned because this Florida team is very, very, very good. So, and with Hurston Waldrop, I think if they were going to throw somebody else today, if they were going to throw Jack Caglione tomorrow, maybe I go a different direction. But I'm going to go with Florida. Hurston Waldrop is too good against that Oral Roberts lineup. I think that they're going to have a hard time scoring runs in that one. I think it's going to be very, very difficult there. All right, fellas. Final thoughts here while we go through while you guys are standing here in Omaha. I want to hear some either some fun stories, what we've been doing, or some excitement or something about the ballpark. Alex, I'm going to let you start first again because this is your first trip down here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to today. The biggest thing about today is be flexible. We're going to have to work around this weather, and we'll be ready. We stay ready.
Yeah, LSU fans already showed that during their super regional that they stay ready, and as soon as the ballpark opens up, they're going to be flooding in there. I expect to see about 24,000 LSU fans there today, and maybe about 2,000 Tennessee fans. Jake?
I'm ready to see an ejection. And I think that the headset, it's taking all the fun out of people getting angry because they just go cordially like, "Hey man, can you take a look at that?" I miss angry coaches. I want to see some dumb stuff. I want to see it get chippy. I want to see an ejection out there. We didn't see it yesterday. It was a very shirt tucked in kind of game. Let's untuck the shirts a little bit.
Let's not get players ejected.
You're not going to see it in the Stanford Wake Forest game. That is too much of a shirt tucked in game. That's not going to be where the loose lips sink ships, man. Noah, some thoughts about Omaha, some feelings today?
Yeah, it's business as usual here. The teams are finally in. The players are all having a great time, and the fans are great too. That's the real winner of all of this is the fans. And I think to last night's game is Florida Virginia and how the fans were all just so happy to see how that one ended. I know Monty called me up and said, I know we just lost a game on a national stage and my power went out, so I didn't get to see it. But what a fun time! Let's do it again. So that's what this is all about. And I know that when LSU loses tonight, Alex is going to go out to Rocco's with all of his LSU pals, and they're all going to pretend that they're going to be okay. But when you don't have Paul Skeens and you're 0-1, you are cooked.
Do you think that starts to save him if he gets rocked, Alex?
No, I don't. But hey, one other thing. Shout out to Chinook Seedery for letting us use their booth here for the show. Chinook Seeds, you can go find them online on Amazon. Best seeds in the business. And if you're here in Omaha, come on down to the booth in the baseball village. Check out some seeds. Talk to Mark. Talk to us. We'll be out here for a little bit, and they're the best in the game. Recommend the Hatch Chili and the Jalapeno Ranch.
I prefer Parmesan pepper. Not too much Parmesan, just the right kind of blend. Parmesan pepper for the win.
The barbecue ones, the smokehouse barbecue, man. That was mine, man. While I'm fishing, I'm throwing those smokehouse in. I'm having a blast, man. They're perfect. They are great for all venues, okay? So whether you're hanging out being a dad just mowing your lawn or you're going out taking care of the kids or watching baseball, the Chinook seeds are where it's at. They do a great job. Their sunflower seeds are next level. Noah, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, to all the kids watching at home, if you're learning how to chew sunflower seeds, make sure you spit that seed out or the shell out because you really don't want that coming out in like a rocky road kind of way. I've been there. I've done that. I'm keeping it in my thoughts. I steer clear of sunflower seeds for the most part, but good flavor on these puppies.
Did y'all know that Noah doesn't know how to chew sunflower seeds correctly?
Correct. I can't do it.
I will put on a class this offseason, Noah, so I'll put on about a 15-minute class this offseason on how to correctly
Mark,
use
I don't know what you're saying, but I assume it's you not pumping your own gas. So.
Fact. All right, boys, you guys have a great time. We will see you guys, checking in with you guys later this week. So go enjoy some baseball. Go down and visit these guys down in the village, okay? They're down there having a blast. Go on to Home Field Apparel also. 15% off your first order on Home Field Apparel. Code 15 CBC 15. 15% off that order. There's still time to buy your fan gear. Go out there and go get it. Tons of gear left to buy. For Alex, Noah, Jake, and myself, thanks for joining us on the Weekend Rotation. We'll see you again soon after these games here, probably.